What's up, everybody? Welcome back to KOPPAI Podcast, episode 74. I am your host, Kaz DeRisk, joined alongside Mr. Koppai himself, Zach Risk.
Roger.
Roger. Today, we're going to be talking about everything to deal with the stars, from La La Land to Stardew Valley to Star Wars, because this past weekend we've been playing the Star Wars Battlefront II beta with John Boyega, a.k.a. Finn, and Lightsaber Rey. She's a Jedi now. She's fighting Darth Maul on Naboo. None of it makes sense. Darth Maul was never on Naboo, as far as I remember. Maybe in that Rebels cartoon. Maybe in some sort of book by...
They're always doing this with the Battlefronts.
Yeah, they say it's supposed to be like your toy box, and you're just dumping your toys on it. And
or just alternative scenarios, like, say, what would it be like if Darth Maul would have been born way, like, been around in Episode 9 to fight in the new, alongside
on Naboo, and they're still having the trade thing and all that. So we're going to be talking about our initial beta impressions today. We're also going to be talking about Stardew Valley on the Switch and what people have been saying about that. Lots of people addicted out there all over again. It's the new craze. Plus, there's just tons of indies on the Switch. And I think, I also wanted to talk a little bit, if we have the time, about the Nintendo World Championships, which happened this past week, and some stuff to do with all of that. But first, Zach... Let's talk about some of the games we've been playing this past week. We've been dibbling and dabbling. I actually, because you've been playing the beta, I'm not too sure what you've been playing beyond that. I think you may have mentioned it once or twice here and there. I've been playing tons of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt by CD Projekt Red. I'm not going to get into a ton of it because the game is how old now? 2 years? 3 years? 4 years? 5 years?
I'd say 3 years. I think it's 2015.
Yeah, like 2015 Game of the Year or something. And so I'm not going to get into all of that, because if you know The Witcher, you know The Witcher. If you haven't played The Witcher yet, and if you don't want to play The Witcher, you're probably not going to play it. Maybe you're like me and you're going to get into it now, and other people are going to be, all excited about that. But I think Justin Davis was on GameScoop and got into The Witcher this past year, and no one wanted to talk to him about it because they're like, dude, it's The Witcher 3. Everyone talked about it 3 years ago. It's like if
time has passed.
Yeah, it's like if someone ran into the room and they're like, guys, Harry Potter's awesome. It's like, yeah, we know. We talked about Harry Potter in 2007. Get over it. But
there's always places you can go for that kind of stuff. I constantly see posts on Reddit and things where it's like, I just finished The Lord of the Rings for the first time and I need somebody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
And there's always somebody willing to talk to you about whatever you just finished. So yeah, if you finish Witcher 3 or something, just head on over to the Witcher 3 Reddit and be like, somebody console me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know when I'm going to finish it. I've been playing. I'm 15 hours in. And I played
so you got 485 hours to go.
Yeah, and just past the tutorial. And no, that's not true. But I'm getting actually into it now, where there's decisions that have consequences, and there's characters, and you're kind of getting beyond the whole introducing to the world, and now you're just living in the world, which is really fun. But the whole thing that led me to The Witcher 3, and this actually is a little bit of relevant news, is I talked about it weeks and weeks and weeks ago when talking about Zelda, but I recently beat Horizon, I think just a month ago now, and I am still reeling from that game where I'm getting it's like after Breaking Bad finished and you and I were just so depressed that we didn't have a show to watch. The more I look back on it and the more hindsight I have, there has never been a game like Horizon, and I'm looking around and begging people to give me suggestions, and I cannot find anything like Horizon. And everyone said, well, if you want another game that's, third person adventure, exploration in a fascinating world, play The Witcher. And I made several different threads and forums on different places, someone give me a game like Horizon, and people are like, play The Witcher. And I'm like, all right, I'll play The Witcher. And so that's what led me to The Witcher. But the Horizon Zero Dawn's first expansion comes out in 1 month, less than 1 month, and the complete edition for $50 comes out in December, and that includes everything, which is a steal of a deal. So that's what led me to that. But if anyone out there knows, man, everyone's like, play Zelda. And I'm like, I played Zelda, 150 hours. I'm done with Zelda. We're not done with Zelda. Can't wait for Champion's Ballad. But it's like, man, I can't find anything.
Xenoblade.
maybe Xenoblade actually. That's actually wow. That was actually not a bad idea because that's very much so kind of dealing with like that natural world, but that machinery like all around. Like that looks
Yeah.
really cool. So, dang.
Yeah, and to get hyped for two, But I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like, thankfully, kind of like, we're talking about with Witcher 3, where 2 seems pretty standalone, almost more so than like Witcher 3, where it seems like a whole new world. And I'm not sure how much they take from kind of like the Final Fantasy thing, where there's still elements brought in, or how much is a continuation. But it seems like Xenoblade 2 is definitely not one where you have to play any of the previous games to
Yeah, well, that
understand what's going on.
in that Nintendo Direct, they're like completely resetting up the world, like explaining it all and giving tons of exposition and all that. Like
Yeah.
it was no
Yeah.
part of the Direct or the story trailer was like, and as you remember in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, like
Right.
the actions of like they didn't mention
narrator.
Shulk once. Like where's Shulk?
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's a good game. The bummer part is with that is, do I play it on my new 3DS or do I get it on the Wii U Virtual Console?
Right.
Do I, I don't know if I really want to play it like on like the Wii, like with the
I'd say if
Wiimote
it's
and
on the
stuff.
Wii, I think it is like you say, the Wii U Virtual Console. It's got the upres. It's probably pretty close to being HD, and like,
Yeah.
I bet it looks. It's. I mean, it's not gonna look as good as Horizon, of course, but it's gonna
No.
be an epic.
Even The
long
Witcher 3 doesn't look as
adventure.
good as Horizon. Like that's like Horizon's a gorgeous game.
Yeah.
But and we'll talk about it later. But so is Star Wars. Star Wars
Yeah.
is gorgeous. But yeah, no. So I've been playing tons of Witcher. I'm still continuing to play Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I feel like I can only talk about that less and less as time goes on because it's just like it's the same thing. If other people are like, "All right, we've played Rabbids," I see Grant Kirkhope tweet about it all the time. He just is so proud of his composition work, and it's great work. But yeah, I continue just to chip at that game. It's so long because it's just the battles, so you can just always pick it up. Perfect game on the Switch, and have just been enjoying that. And it's been nice to have like Mario on my Switch while I wait for Odyssey. Like
Mhm.
really good
Yeah.
game, and I had my first game over the other day. Like it does get super challenging if you try to make sure no one dies, and if you do some of the challenge modes and all of that. It's a very, very hard game at moments, which I had heard from a lot of people that it was incredibly easy. Like, and that was like the biggest complaint with the game was that people were like, it's kind of, like baby's first XCOM or something. But no, it gets tough if you want to make sure everyone lives.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the cool thing is it rewards you if everyone lives. Like it gives you points and trophies and like
Right.
it has the classic Nintendo check mark, Ubisoft check mark sort of thing. So that's been fun. And then obviously like GTA races and we'll talk, maybe
Yeah,
talk
definitely.
about that a little bit. Like they got some new cunning stunt races coming up, which are just a blast. We finally got that game on PC, and so yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you've been playing besides the Battlefront beta?
Yeah, we just went recently on a trip to Council Bluffs, Omaha area, and I brought the Switch along, played a little bit of Rayman Legends on the
Oh, yeah,
ride, and
yeah.
that game is just still just perfect to pick up and play for a little bit.
Did you end
And
up?
then-
I never asked. Did you end up actually like buying that or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were still
totally
like.
own
I thought you just played like the demo and were like just
No.
doing your impressions off the
No,
demo.
I planned like right when it was announced, I'm like, oh, I'm for sure getting Rayman Legends. And then when the demo came out, I wanted to at least try it because it kind of confirmed what I already suspected, that it was going to be just brilliant. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I picked it up, I think basically on the day it came out, maybe a day later.
That's
But
crazy.
I'm about maybe 3 worlds into it, I'd say, because I've done like one world of the Origins and then one world of the Legends, because you get these scratch tickets to unlock all the old Origin levels. And so, yeah, it's just got a lot going on in that game. I kind of talked about it a bit last week, but still playing through that.
How's
Really
it feel
awesome.
in portable mode? Feel good?
Yeah, it feels. I mean, that's what I was kind of thinking about playing it. Is just the Joy-Cons, in the tablet mode or whatever it's called. I think that's right, or handheld mode.
Handheld mode, yeah. Table,
yeah.
handheld.
It's just, I mean, Nintendo's. I think it doesn't have. I was using a lot of the actual analog stick. I guess it's a platformer, so that's probably the main concern. But I don't know. I find that the game is modern enough. I think that most people probably play the new Rayman games with the analog stick. I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure, but I felt it was really fun.
Do you play Cuphead with the analog stick or the D-pad?
I don't know. I think I alternate,
Yeah,
but
me too.
yeah, it's interesting. I don't find it as I think that if I really want to get precise with it, then maybe I move over to the D-pad, but for the most part, I'm pretty good in the challenge. There's enough window where it's not like, I'm trying to be there's not rocket science going on. So
Tim
I
Geddes
can
made a really good point about Tim Geddes from Kind of Funny made a really good point about Cuphead that I was like a complaint I didn't know I had, but in I don't know if you've played much of Samus Returns yet. I think you had, where like you can hold down like the right trigger, and Samus can now do like a full 360 aim,
yeah.
like everywhere. Like it's not just like classic Metroid where you can kind of do like the 8 points of direction, up, down, left, right, and then diagonally. Like she can do like a full rotation now. It's like really fluid and cool. And he was like, I wish Cuphead could do that, where you could like if you hold down the trigger, you could just precisely aim where you want. It's like maybe that adds to the challenge, but I feel like it's challenging enough that adding something like that, like a free, like total lock-on aim, would be really cool. But yeah, but no.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Rayman
thought it was
stuff.
interesting, like with Cuphead, how I watched somebody play the simple mode and how it just cuts out like so much of the like levels and challenge. It's really interesting how they did that.
I hear people use the simple mode to learn the level, like get to the end, get a scope for like what's ahead of them
Yeah.
and all that, and then they go back through in the actual part.
Well,
and
like
they can,
that first boss battle that you go to, where it's like the potato, the onion, and then the carrot.
yeah.
The guy went to it and played a let's play and went to simple, and it was just the potato and then the carrot. Like the onion part was completely removed because it was just simple. And so I thought that was kind of interesting how like you don't get I mean, probably if it's like the run and gun one, it maybe not doesn't shorten it because it's just hard to take out a chunk of the level, but it's probably easier to program just skip a boss. So if you do a simple version of the bosses, it seems like you don't get the full impression of how to beat it. So, yeah, I don't know. Cuphead's so awesome. I need to play more of that game.
There's so much to play.
I know. It's like we had last week. It's the golden age of gaming. It's been a lot of the Battlefront beta for me the past couple days because we did go out of town. It was really cool. There was a little bit of an opportunity to play like infinite mini golf again just on the trip as like a co-op game just in the hotel room. Like after the concert's done, we have a little game console to set up and play a little round of golf.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was cool.
Are you interested at all in Golf Story?
Yeah, I'm really interested in that game, as well as like maybe it'd be good to talk about it now. Like Stardew Valley came out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it.
So everybody is like really hyped about that. That was like every day of the Reddit people are, where's this game coming? Because when they announced it, it was like a launch title announcement that it was coming for Switch, and then it was just, is it coming in the summer and then the fall and then when? And then we were kind of always talking about how it's going to be one of those things where it's this week Stardew Valley is out, and that's just what they did was like 2 days.
I don't know how no one predicted that they were going to wait till like it was the Harvest Moon when it came out.
Yeah,
first day of fall or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely getting that game. I kind of ended up getting a little bit torn between like, I keep hearing that playing it with the mouse and keyboard is really the best way to play it.
Ooh.
And like Switch, it's that toss up between
do you want it on the go? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard lots of good things of it being on the go, like of people being like basically re-addicted to it all over again, because now it's like
it's a good point.
The addiction of Stardew, and now you can like play it in bed and play it in the car ride.
One of the things I really like about Minecraft on the Switch is that I find myself like on a trip and stuff, if I don't want to have to think about anything too story driven, or if I just want to go in and just do a little bit of, maintenance on several projects I have building in that, it's really awesome. You can go do a whole bunch of little set your own objectives sort of things. And that's kind of, it seems Stardew's similar in that way. Although it sounds, there's some complexities to that game and things you kind of have to read up on, or like those things that you, like 23 things you should know before you start your Stardew Valley file. It seems like it's kind of involved, and your days are, what I've been hearing is that you have to kind of maintain them well. You can miss out, like, you don't have to take it too seriously. You're not going to lose the game, but if you want to get all the achievement sort of things and your museum or whatever filled out, kind of like Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Take a long time to wait between it if you skip out and you don't do things right under their time management system. And so I don't know. I just want to, and it's one of those time things too, where like I want to be involved with it, but I don't know how much it's going to be. Is there a real time clock, or like if I leave for a bit?
I don't think it's real time. I think it's just yeah.
So
But
I'll
no,
have to look into it more, but I'm definitely interested, and I'm definitely going to pick it up when I have the time to get involved with it. Just for the most part right now, I'm more into kind of the pick up for a moment, kind of mindlessly play like a Rayman level or a Battlefront beta, thing.
my problem with it, like the reason I haven't picked it up yet, because I can't imagine it's too expensive. Like what is it, Stardew Valley?
I think it's $15.
Switch, yeah, Stardew Valley Switch.
Certain regions it's like $10.
Yeah, $15. So I mean, not much. Like really cheap. Like it's like
and
kind of right.
Chucklefish are the developers, and those guys I love. Like Starbound, I need to play more of that. I got that game recently, and it really I love their whole look. They do the pixel thing like really well. Where I don't know if they developed Terraria. I don't believe they did.
I think we talked about this. Yeah,
but
that
they
didn't.
But they just have such a similar. I don't know if they use the same like guy that does the music, or if they're just trying to pick up on that whole atmosphere. But the music just gives you that vibe, and I don't know. I loved the Terraria soundtrack, and Chucklefish does all of that kind of thing with its charm of like they have a good sense of humor, and they're developing a brand new game that's like Harry Potter sort of thing where you go to a wizarding school that looks really awesome. It's kind of this Stardew Valley sort of sim of
Witch March
management and Minecraft, Harry Potter, Harvest Moon RPG thing that just seems absolutely awesome. So I'm always looking forward to what Chucklefish has to do. And then like I don't know, we were kind of talking about Golf Story in there. With Golf Story, I need to find out what it has like in terms of like 2-player. I wish it'd be awesome if it had like an online like Mario Golf sort of thing, or if even just Kayla and I could play co-op together. I love Mario Golf more than kind of the style of like Infinite Mini Golf. So if we had something like that, we used to play the Game Boy Advance Mario Golf because you can just play it on one system and pass it back and forth because it's golf. You take turns anyway.
Yeah.
So if they have something like that with Golf Story, I really want to try that out. I hear it's got a really linear story, that it doesn't really have the whole kind of like typical RPG thing where you can go do your own like leveling up on your own pace. It's just got a very like you got to go through the story, but I hear it's awesome and charming, and I really want to pick up Golf Story again. Like when I get the time, I've been so swamped with school and everything that like I haven't really been craving like you have like a really story driven or anything like that. I've been more craving kind of the short bursts of when I can get in. Like PUBG just doesn't require any. It's like the objective. Like you're not thinking about anything. With Grand Theft Auto, just go in, do some races, get some money. With Battlefront, just go in and shoot some peeps. Rayman, just go in.
I'm actually looking for I'm on a completely opposite spectrum where I'm like the reason I'm actually most hyped for Battlefront 2, and we can maybe even start easing into that discussion, is the campaign and the story, because I think just after Horizon, I'm just so caught up and just craving more narrative. Like I don't know. I think I rushed it in time for Destiny 2, but I should have paced it out more or something. So because I platinumed it, so now there's really nothing else to do in that game. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, that's the other thing. Like with Stardew Valley, it's kind of holding me back. Is like it seems kind of like one of those games I can imagine like being really super fun and addicting, but at the same time, I feel like it's just gonna kind of be like almost not junk food. That's like a bad term for it, but like I can really imagine it as kind of being, a game that you just get lost in such a way that you're lost in the mechanics of it, which sounds like it could be like a really fun game for maybe like a Christmas break sort of thing. Like sit down, listen to podcasts, catch up on audiobooks, and play Stardew Valley all day. But yeah, and I'm really debating too. Like you mentioned keyboard and mouse. I can imagine clicking your farm being nice, but taking it on the go, like especially you don't travel as much as me, but I have to like Uber to work every week, and I commute to school, so I'm there. I guess you also like have to commute into school, so
yeah, but I have to drive like I have to drive myself, and then I have to just walk across campus. So it's not like I have any opportunity to really play
Hmm.
anything in that unless I'd be like walking and looking down at my Switch as I go. It's like sometimes I'll briefly check my phone, but I don't even really like to be like walking, looking down
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some people do and just about bump into you because they're not paying attention to anything. But like with Stardew,
Old
I think
man Zach.
yeah,
You're like, get
like
off your
these
phone, kid.
yeah. But with Stardew, it's kind of you mentioned like getting lots of the mechanics and stuff. But what's nice, I hear that Stardew does a really good job with the community and the like getting married to someone and having
True.
relationships with people and
Harvest Moon did that
all
well too.
this. Yeah, so there's kind of that balance of it has those Minecrafty, like just kind of mindlessly almost waste your time. Like you say, junk food. I kind of feel sometimes in Minecraft, I mean, it does satisfy that urge sometimes, but then at other times you're like, I feel like I'm just kind of wasting my time. Like I'm not really
Yeah, yeah.
experiencing a narrative or like learning anything. I'm just kind of building something that's not even really going to end up ultimately. Like it's just kind
It's
of
like mattering. Like
yeah,
nothing really matters. You
yeah.
get like these like existential
It's
crisis going
yeah,
on with
right,
Minecraft.
exactly. And then with Stardew, if all it was just a farming simulator, it'd be like, what's really the point? But at least it has like
True.
that is addicting in its gameplay mechanics that you kind of want to just naturally as a human like maintain, but then it also feels a waste so that then it has this, actual kind of human simulation experience of relationship building that might teach you something or you might learn something or follow a story that's intriguing,
Yeah.
alongside it. So that's a really cool mix that I think that they have. And I think what's really promising is that it's the Chucklefish studio that does really well with those kind of like the writing in Starbound from what I've seen, like visiting a few of the colonies, they have like it's really charming, really awesome. It kind of fits well with the Nintendo um, whole vibe of like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. It kind of
Yeah.
compares to those kinds of things, and so yeah, I just think that it's great that it's finally here. I'm gonna pick it up soon. I'd like to maybe try it out before Odyssey gets here, but uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm really gonna. I'll probably just even look at my budget, after this podcast and just see. It's a game. I think like the next game, like the next indie I would buy on the Switch probably would be Stardew. Like that's just kind of like the biggest indie it seems right now. Like I think it climbed to #1 on the sales charts according to My Nintendo News. Yeah, what they write?
yeah.
The acclaimed Stardew Valley, which released on Nintendo Switch eShop yesterday, has shot to #1 on the platform, #1 in virtually every territory, which means it's a huge success for Cuttlefish or Chucklefish.
Yeah.
And I think also we had another story that I was pulling up that was basically saying Axiom Verge was also like getting crazy success, and
And that's
so
another one that I missed out on and still need to get it. And I was like, really, I kind of saw my first because I was interested in it from the get-go and some of the little snippets I saw, but I've avoided watching any Let's Plays or any footage because that's kind of how I am with games. I don't want to like be spoiled of anything at
yeah,
all, really. And so I finally saw some like actual gameplay. I think it was like during, I think it was the newest NVC. They showed a little bit when they were talking about how it's basically like exactly Metroid. And I was like, wow, it is like exactly
yeah,
Metroid, and
yeah,
that's so awesome. But kind of considering I do need to get on it, but I also just got Samus Returns, so if I need a Metroid kind of game, I
yeah.
got that, and I need to get and complete that game. So that one I kind of got to hold off a bit on, and I think I still own like Volgar on Steam or something, but that just came out too, which is a really I think perfect game for Switch. Um, but but yeah, I don't know. We're kind of getting at just that the top charts or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I may check that out. Maybe next week I'll have a little bit of Stardew. The thing with Stardew Valley that the two more things I'll say about that is my wife, Michaela, she really loves Minecraft and has like we've really enjoyed some co-op moments building up that. I'm kind of waiting on Realms because that should be like really a similar case of any day now they're going to be like, "Oh, Realms is available on Switch. You can
Yeah,
play
that's
it."
gonna be awesome.
And I'm just worried that like that'll happen right after I buy Stardew and I'm going to be like, "Okay." And so like I'm kind of waiting on Minecraft Realms, but if I do get Stardew Valley, it'd be really nice if Michaela could have her own farm or cabin or whatever it is, like your little village, your little place to live in Stardew Valley. And it'd be nice if she could have her own place, maybe even build up her own farm. Like they're mentioning multiplayer's coming, but it's not out yet. Like I'm wondering if Stardew Valley is going to be one of those games that on Switch in a few months is going to be even better. Like they're going to patch some things, make the frame rate better.
Are. Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering if it's like I have enough to play right now. I can wait and not run out of games. Mario is like only 2 weeks away or 3 weeks away. South Park is next week. We got the beta this week. Destiny 2 is going to be on PC soon.
Yono and the Celestial Elephants are coming. It's coming out
it's
days.
Just there's like tons, and I still haven't even played beyond the first world of Wonder Boy and Snake Pass and Mr. Shifty, and Mr. Shifty and. All these games like Blaster Master and Mighty Gun Vault. Like
it's the golden age.
Like there's all these games, and so Stardew comes along. I'm just like, I feel like I can wait, but it also is such a craze. Waiting. Yeah. So anyway, speaking of stars, Star Wars Battlefront II.
The Valley of Stars, you say?
the War of the Valley of the Stars. As of today, when you're listening to this, Monday, October 9th, there's a new trailer for Star Wars The Last Jedi. So go over and check that out, wherever that is. I honestly don't know if I'm going to watch it. I am feeling a little bit like I read a tweet by Ryan McCaffrey, the host of a Podcast Unlocked and the kind of Xbox guy over at IGN. And the fact that he's related to Xbox is completely unrelated to what he tweeted. Basically, you just know who he is. And he was tweeting out that he's like, I don't think I'm going to watch it because I want to go into this with so much mystery and intrigue. And so I'm kind of maybe the same way. But anyway, so
I wish I wouldn't have even seen that dang porg.
Yeah, the porg. Like, what is this? You're going to be going into like the movie. You're going to be sitting in the theater, like your arms crossed, like, where are the porgs? They're gonna.
The movie's not over yet because the porgs haven't shown up.
Yeah, you're like, I know there's a scene where Chewbacca holds onto a porg. There's a Pop Funko or something with him holding a porg. Where's Chewbacca? Yeah, man, Chewie, what's he gonna do now? Anyway, but yeah, so we've been playing tons of this beta. The beta includes Galactic Assault, where you are either defending the temple in Naboo or you are attacking it. It includes, I don't even know what it is, what it's called, the Starfleet something where you're in you basically have on land, in air, and then strikes, which are I think a mix of both. And so on air or on land you're on Naboo. In the air it was I think an attack on the shield generators that are protecting the second Death Star. And so you're either defending shield generators or you're attacking them. And then the strikes, you're either raiding Maz Kanata's temple and trying to steal presumably like an ancient Jedi artifact, maybe even Luke Skywalker's old lightsaber, or you're defending it. And so really, really fun. And when the game actually comes out, there'll be, I think, like 16 maps, a full campaign, completely 100% original story, written like with the supervision of LucasArts and films and all that. So it's completely canon, which is going to be insane because it's bridging the gap between episode 6 and episode 7, and it's following the group that witnesses the destruction of the Death Star, and they're like basically seeking revenge and trying to go out and like figure out how this even happened. Like, okay, who blew up the Death Star? How'd this happen? And like that's just gonna be awesome. I'm considering getting the book that's like the lead up to or setting the stage for Inferno Squad, and then the game is all about Inferno Squad. I really want to read the book though before it comes out. And so there's gonna be a full campaign. The crazy thing is in the actual game, we were talking about it earlier in the show, but there's Rey, there's Darth Maul. At the full game's gonna have Han Solo, Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker, like tons more heroes and villains, and it's prequel, original, and new modern era. So there's every film compared to the first one, which was only the original trilogy, and they had to resort to like some of the villains and heroes they were using by the end of like all the DLC was like literally the guy that stands behind Boba Fett, like one of the extras. I'm like, I didn't even know like he had a real name. I guess he's someone.
Yeah. I love seeing like the droids, like Roger. Isn't that what they're called? Like the droid troopers, or what are they called?
I think droids. Yeah.
Yeah,
just a battle unit, battle droid. battle droid.
Yeah, battle droids versus the clone troopers, which are the white, like kind of Fallout-y looking storm. Or those are stormtroopers, but they're clones.
There's clone troopers in the prequels, and they become stormtroopers.
Okay,
But there's also
because they're
Death
good guys in
Troopers.
the prequels too.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
they're clones in the prequels, and
But
then they.
I just love those droids. Like watching like the Clone Wars series and everything.
Mhm. There's
Those are my favorite of like all Star Wars probably. I just love those guys.
well that was always the bummer part about the prequels, you know, like because with all the bad acting and sometimes the bad writing as well, like some of the premises and set pieces and all that were like really cool. Like Naboo is a gorgeous planet, and like the actual battle scenes with the droids and like some of the machinery and the technology, like they would like ride those like little kind of motorcycle looking things that were the full circles, and like those were awesome. And I think Battlefront 2, like the original Battlefront 2, like in the early 2000s, I think that was pretty much the Clone Wars, and so they had like lots of the droid units in that as well. There's actually the book Star Wars Aftermath, which is, I think, the first in a trilogy that also bridges the gap between episodes 6 and 7. There's a character in that like assists with the resistance or whatever, like, or the foundation of the resistance, and he has a battle droid. But it's really interesting because you don't see battle droids, you know, in the like after episode 3, like all the what is it, the what's the name of them? It's not they have like a name. It's like not. It starts with a C, I think, like not the Confederacy or something. But what is it? Oh man, it's gonna drive me crazy that I don't know, because there's the Republic, and what are the droids? Like, what's the droid army with Count Dooku as the leader? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy that I don't know.
I don't know.
Count. I gotta know this. Count Dooku droid army. What are they called? Separatists? No, or Confederacy military? Is it the Confederate? Yeah, it is the Confederacy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Separatist droid army and the Confederate. Awesome. Okay, I was right. Anyway, so yeah, they have that army, but someone in the after episode 6 in the books, he has a droid that he names Bones, and like it's covered like in old ragged bones and stuff, and like he's like manipulated the circuitry to make it so it works for him. But in the book, I listened to the audiobook version, and there's a scene where like it attacks, I think, some of the Empire soldiers coming to attack, and he's just like spinning around screaming Roger, Roger, and attacking everyone. And it's really cool because it's like so nostalgic, and like it's the audiobook, so it's just right in your ear, Roger, 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 and he's just freaking out and attacking everyone. So but yeah, no, it's really cool to have all of those eras, and it's going to be like awesome to have even more of the maps unlocked. And it's just crazy. Like the reason I was listing off all that content and kind of setting the stage for the game is just like, there's so much more than Battlefront 1. Like an insane amount. Like they took everything and made it better. The menus are more clean. The star cards make more sense. The way you unlock heroes and the battle make more sense. Like, if you're getting kill streaks, you get more points. You use those points to buy access to Darth Maul, and then you become Darth Maul. You know, like you just respawn as him instead of before you would run out to the battlefield, randomly a star card would pop up. You'd go grab the card, and then you just got to be Luke Skywalker just because you
I feel they took everything that people were complaining about and they made it better. Like everything that people were saying, this is a lightweight, like, oh, like what is this? They did it all wrong. Like, I just remember that initial Battlefront, like it was a mixed thing because it was solid in a lot of ways, but there was a lot of ways that it was like felt corners were cut, like talking about, you know, for example, how they just stuck it to the original trilogy. And it was like, what? And
but even they were bummed about that because they were like, all right, we got to include Jakku though because it's such a cool planet, and we have to include Scarif because Rogue One was awesome. Like they tried to stretch out of it. Yeah, but
and I didn't end up getting like in the very late run where they started to, I think, fix up a lot of things with, you know, at least content wise with some really epic stuff. But I just think mechanic wise, this game just immediately blows everything out of the water, where I feel I'm playing like just a top of the line shooting game that happens to be Star Wars. Like I think that playing it on PC over the PlayStation 4 really helps because I don't know, it seems like on PC they make it more fluid with on consoles there's a little more aim assist and that
Yeah.
kind of thing going on, but on the PC it just feels so fluid and
Except for
just
flying.
amazing.
Flying sucks on PC.
Yeah, except for with the controller, I felt I was finally getting really in the rhythm of it towards the end.
Yeah, which we can even talk about that. One thing that's crazy about flying in Battlefront 2 is it's no longer like up and down like a X and Y plane. Like now there's space battles, so there's no more up and down. It's just up, down, left, right. Like if you're in
Yeah.
space and you're flying under things, like there's no sense of what north, south, east, west are like. And so because of that, we were kind of having a tough time. You can't do barrel rolls anymore because the reason they had the barrel roll in Battlefront 1 was so you could hit, I think it was like Y, and it would make your spaceship flip upside down and tilt so you could evade or be evasive and get out of someone's missile lock. But now you can just do that because you can just do that. Before you couldn't fly upside down on your own control. Like if you did that, it would like kind of push you back into up and down, I think. And so now you just, if you want to do a barrel roll, you just do a barrel roll and do a somersault and flip over, which takes a lot to get used to play a flying game where like if you're flying around and chasing after someone, like they could be flying upside down, but in their view, like in their cockpit, they're just flying. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it feels absolutely perfect. I think the only real complaint I had with the flying part was the one or a couple times where it felt like maybe the hitbox collision was a little weird, where I felt I was definitely avoiding. I could see clear space between me and like posts that I was flying between, but it'd be like destroyed by some post or some rod sticking out of the ship that I was clearly avoiding it. Maybe I was playing a little too risky where I was trying to be cool and fly really low close to brushing against it, but I was seriously like maintaining the space. I could see it clearly and for some reason still got destroyed. So I don't know if I'll have to play more and see what happens with that, but a couple times I just felt it was a little cheap. Like I really shouldn't have been destroyed by that. But
yeah, that happened a few times to me. Other
really
times I got really tight. Like I got really tight against something. So it's a little scary that hopefully they fix that or just clean it up. I mean, the game is like 2 full months out. So they could clean some of that up, and as they get more playtesting, because there were some really epic moments where, especially like you're in the trenches, like getting the shield generator, and I'm like shooting at the shield generator, and in the last minute I pull up, and it's just like, man, that felt like I was in the movie. And other times I'm just like flying and doing a tight hug, and it's just my wing gets like snapped off. I'm like, what just happened? But
no, I really love the variety in the game. I think that like the variety of missions to be able to go back and forth like we were between strikes and then the Naboo mission and then space fights. It's a really great combination. There's going to be even more in the final game. I think they do great with like their because isn't it the same people that make like Battlefield and stuff? Or
I know. I mean, it's published by the same,
right.
But
So I don't know. It just seems like they have very similar, like the objectives, the way they set things up, where there's a ton of different objectives and different little missions that they have you do. And so, like where you're, suppressing, it's kind of like Overwatch and stuff too. It reminds me of in a lot of ways the way that a lot of the missions are set up, where you're trying to defend a spot and push back the team from delivering something to with their like some big airship or something that's slowly making its way across the map. Those things just seem kind of a staple of like Overwatch and the Battlefield games.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
I just really love that. I love like the diversity in missions to do where you feel like you're really involved and there's a little role for everybody to play in the objective, and it's not just kind of constant one side versus the next, or just capture the flag and get it to the next side.
It'll be really nice when it's not the beta anymore. Like I've run into that with Destiny, where like in Destiny there's a mode called Supremacy that's like notorious for people sucking at it, because in Supremacy, when you kill someone, you need to go pick up their crest, and if you don't pick up their crest, your kill doesn't count. and people just run around shooting each other because they're stupid and they don't pick up the crest, so your team gets 0 points and like you lose even though everyone's killing each other. And I even ran into that a little bit with Battlefront, where I think it was the strike where we're supposed to be going into Maz Kanata's castle or whatever, and like no one's going into the castle. Like they're just shooting people and running around. I'm like, you guys got to go inside, and like you and I were sometimes the only people around that table trying to grab the artifact, and like everyone else is like outside in the forest, like shooting people. Like get inside. Or like even on Naboo, like you're supposed to be shooting the like MTT or whatever it is, and people are just running around shooting and looking at the doves and the leaves.
The doves, those are purposely distracting. Did you see that GIF I sent you?
Yeah, they're just flying out of the ground.
It's like, and then like every time somebody spawns again, it's like a new set of doves has to spawn and start coming out. So a guy just like stands back and just watches them just constantly come out of the ground. It's like, what is this, some portal they're spawning from? So yeah, they'll surely have to cut back on the doves.
Definitely.
What I like it for them
Too
to
many
do
doves.
is actually put doves on the ground that aren't just spawning out of nowhere, and then once they're gone, just have them be gone, or have them maybe fly back after a bit or something, like, or just have it be unique to the person's screen. So like the first time you run by, you see the doves fly out, but maybe another person doesn't. So it's not this, and it seemed a little ridiculous, but I do love the just the like everything that's going on, how many particles they're able to fit. Just they're, like you were talking about, they're kind of showing off a little bit, but I think they just did a great job with like all the everything that's going on. I'm really glad my PC can handle it now. So
and if you're listening to this and you want to check it out, unfortunately, I think by the time you listen to this, the beta will be over. The game is 2 months out though, so maybe they'll schedule a second beta.
I bet they will,
to get even more testing in, like another weekend or something. But the game, when does it actually come out? It is EA Dice that made it, which they also did like all the Battlefields, Shrek, Battlefield Hardline. So
what I wish they do is just let you pre-order and then you get to like keep your access or something like that, from them. Like get it if you pre-order it from the official.
If you pre-order the deluxe edition, which I think is only like $10 more, you get, and I'm really tempted to do this, but it's kind of a bummer because with PC pre-ordering, I think you like the only way you can pre-order some of these PC games now is like just to pay in full because it's only digital like available. Like with Destiny 2, you can't like pre-order and like just put no money down like and get your pre-order benefits. But I know with Battlefront 2, if you pre-order by the end of the beta, you get like a Yoda card, which apparently makes your Yoda stronger. But if you pre-order the deluxe edition, you get the game 3 days early, like with EA Access. And so the game comes out, actually this is perfect, the game comes out November 17th. And so if you pre-order the deluxe edition, you get it on November 14th, which is your birthday, brother. And so just sit down and play Star Wars all day on your birthday. Early access. But yeah, no, so I mean,
what day does my birthday fall on? Like, will I be in class? It'd be a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's interesting because people have been doing that. More games have been coming out on Friday, but Tuesday's kind of like the start of the financial week. So they get both like whammies there. They get the game coming out on a Tuesday, but then they get the Friday as the mainline release. So yeah.
And then what's a bummer is that in a year it'll be $10 on G2A.
Yeah, well, that's probably how are you going to get Battlefront 1 or that's actually really cheap just on EA if you just buy it directly from them. They've been.
I'm debating that. It's because Odyssey is coming out so soon.
And Destiny 2.
Yeah, that's coming out too, and so yeah. When is Destiny 2 again? Isn't it like the 26th or something or
24th? I think. It's a Tuesday the 24th. And then Odyssey's is that Friday. So yeah, D2, man. Oh, I can't wait to have that on PC.
That'll be awesome.
I'm like kind of unmotivated to play any more of it on the PlayStation 4 because I had my fill. I had my experience with like, okay, I'm not going to be spoiled anymore by anything. Like I don't have to worry about that as a Destiny super fan. But now for my real guy, my main character, the guy I do trials with, that's going to be on PC. So I do need to get the platinum, though.
Hoip.
Hoip. Well, anyway, that concludes Koppai Podcast episode 74. We went a little longer than we want to, but yeah. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. And so
It's all good. I think it was a good one.
I think it was a great episode. Yeah, we got a little bit of everything in there. And so I wanted to talk about this Minecraft Xbox. It looks so freaking gorgeous, but my wife doesn't think it looks gorgeous. If you've seen it, yeah, it's the dirt and the grass and all that. I think it would be an awesome centerpiece for our entertainment system. And I've really been wanting an Xbox One to play through the Halo series and some of the, the 2 or 3 other exclusives on that console. And so,
Yeah,
and
man, I never play my Xbox. Ever.
But I already have like Forza Horizon 3, so then I'd have Forza already purchased on it, and it'd be nice to have another Netflix box in the house. Like, I don't know, like the Minecraft one looks so gorgeous, and so I wanted to get people's thoughts on that. But yeah, leave your thoughts down below if you checked out the Star Wars Battlefront II beta, if you're able to get access to that. Let us know also if you've been playing Stardew Valley on the Nintendo Switch. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that, and any other indies you've been playing, Golf Story. Yeah, and so let us know. And what was the other thing we talked about? Yeah, let us know if you've ever played that Witcher game. Let me know what you think of The Witcher. But I think that's all we have for today. Next week we'll be talking about, actually, Splatfest is this weekend, October 13th. Vampires versus werewolves in a special spooky edition. Spookfest of Splatfest. And so if we get in there, maybe we'll live stream it. I don't know. Apparently we can't live stream anymore with Nintendo, so forget that. And yeah, maybe we'll check out that. Otherwise, we'll be back next week to talk about maybe the initial review impressions of South Park and whatever else happens. Koppai on the fly. But until next time. Whoa, whoa, whoa.